There we go. I figured it out. I got it. We're good. Thank you. We'll get this thing started here in a minute. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? We are hanging out. I am Josh Newberg of 247 Sports, and we are here, and we're going to talk. We're going to talk some Florida State football as the team gets ready to play in just about a week. Got some news, some players leaving the team. But the season's about to start. Are you guys excited? Hell yeah. All right. Give it a minute here. Let me go get something ready. Much better, much better. Did you guys watch the live draft? The Noles247? Who are you taking here? Who are you taking? Do you remember this one from yesterday? That thing's heavy. All right, what's up, everybody? I am Josh Newberg. We'll get this thing going here. Let's go. Big Kush. It's Friday. How you guys doing? You guys at work? Where are we watching this from? Yeah, how to get a haircut. Feeling good though. Team Chris, huh? The box checkers. Chris had a good draft. I think he beat Brendan. I think he beats Brendan every week. Yeah, did you guys listen to On the Bench, our podcast? This is our YouTube. I'm going to do this every Friday and Monday and maybe Wednesday. And then we'll pod on like Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't know, something like that. We'll figure it out. We'll get the flow of the season going. Let me tweet this out real quick. You guys hang out. I know you can't comment on KZ, but where is KZ? KZ is in Tallahassee. We are live. All right. Just tweet this. We're good. How you guys doing today? Work in Gainesville. You work in Gainesville and you're in this chat? Wait till they find out. Yeah, we did the On the Bench podcast yesterday. We talked about the departure of Josh Griffiths. Florida State defensive end left the team this week. That was kind of the big news of the week. Coming off the second scrimmage, I think Griffiths could kind of see the writing on the wall with where he stood on the depth chart. Some freshmen taking his position, decided to enter the transfer portal this week. So the big country era at Florida State as we know it is over. I know this is annoying, but any further developments on Hill? I'm sure if we had a further development on Hill, I would report it. I broke the news on Noles247 early in the summer, and I said his enrollment would be delayed. I did not expect him to be in time for camp. Camp's over. We're getting ready for the preseason. Destin Hill is not here. The season's about to start. There's no word of Destin Hill coming. No, I don't have any reason to expect him to be on the roster this season. How important is the result in the Notre Dame game for all those recruits visiting? I think it's important. I think it's important because Florida State needs to come out and make a statement. I mean, a win, and it, it's huge for recruiting. A loss, it depends how they lose, but a loss isn't good. You get all these top recruits on campus. You're making it's kind of risky, You're saying like, I want to show you guys what is going on at Florida State. You've been telling them all summer that things are different. You've been telling them all off season how things are changing. You can't go out against Notre Dame and lay an egg. It just goes against the message that you've been telling these recruits. So I think there's some risk involved for sure in this first game. But, hopefully FSU can go out there and surprise Notre Dame, shock the world, and come away with a W. What do you think? All right, who leads the team in passing yards? Woo! In passing yards, I will go with let's be positive today. I'm going to go with Mackenzie Milton. I think he's back, baby. Rushing yards, I'll go Jashawn Corbin. I think Jashawn Corbin leads the team in rushing yards. Receiving yards, I'm going to go Andrew Parchment. I think it's probably either Andrew Parchment or Keyshawn Helton if I had to pick two there. This is all against Notre Dame. Those are my season leaders. I didn't know you were asking about Notre Dame, but those are my season leaders. Who are you guys looking forward to against Notre Dame, kind of stepping up and maybe making that next step that we need in the evolution of this team? Because somebody's got to step up and start making some plays. No, it's not going to be Josh Griffiths. Not this season, not for Florida State. Josh Griffiths possibly going back to Florida. He is a one-time Gator commitment. Mullen hasn't been recruiting that well, so maybe they do need Josh Griffiths. Travis J, yeah, he's a guy that we talked a lot about in the draft. He's on Team Box Checkers here on Chris's team. He drafted Travis J. What round did he do? He drafted Travis J kind of early. So, yeah, I like Travis J to step up either at corner or at safety. He does it all for Florida State. And if you remember, Willie Taggart said he was going to play him at quarterback. You want to see Darius Washington take a step? I think so. Where do you think Darius Washington plays? He's played tackle. He's probably more suited for guard. Where do you guys see him playing? What else are we? There's going to be 11 right now official visitors for the Notre Dame game. And Zach Blostein has a full visitor list up on Noles247 with all of the official and unofficial visitors that will be in town that weekend. It'll be big. You kind of wonder now moving forward, how many big recruiting weekends will Florida State have, having hosted so many official visitors, right? You had probably close to 25 official visitors in the summer. You're going to have 11 here for Notre Dame game. You're going to have a handful for Miami. Are we going to have any official visits left for the recruiting months? Maybe these are the old recruiting months. Will June become the new recruiting month? All right. You guys want to see I want to see headed to any high school games this weekend. I don't think I'm going to head to any. I know IMG is playing out of town again this weekend. I'm probably going to head to the first IMG game whenever they return home. I'm killing you because it's hard to watch at work. Do it late once a week. Well, this is like when I work. What about when I work? I like to do nothing at night too sometimes. No, maybe I'll do them at night. I don't know. Maybe not. Is Robert Scott starting at left tackle at camp? I can't really comment on that, but I think Robert Scott will most likely be Florida State's starting left tackle, especially with DLT being a little banged up. Who's leading for QB right now? You got Jordan Travis or Mackenzie Milton. Milton has been in and out of practices. We've been reporting that on Noles247. If he's healthy, I think we'll see Mackenzie Milton start the season. Coach Norvell has said that he's just holding him out with other veterans that don't need these extra reps because they have some experience and they want to keep him healthy for the first week. So if that's the case, then I think probably Mackenzie Milton first game. But we're going to see both of them. And I don't think either of them has really run away with the job. So if one QB is struggling in the game and the other comes out and starts making some plays, I don't think Mike Norvell is going to have any problem going with one over the other, even if they're not the starter of the game. But I'm interested in seeing how it plays out. Mike Norvell's really played this close to the vest. He brings in a transfer in Mackenzie Milton. I thought he would be named the starter coming out of the spring, but to be honest with you, I don't think these two guys have separated from each other to really truly name a starter. So we're just going to see how it plays out. But it's been more interesting than I thought it would be. I didn't think it would be this close of a battle. Maybe some of that's due to availability. Maybe it's due to coming off injuries and whatnot. But it's been a battle. Who are some of the under the radar 2020 recruits you are keeping an eye on that could potentially merge on the big board? Not really anybody. I mean, if you follow Noles247, there's not really anybody under the radar that FSU's on that we just do a good job of reporting on everybody. So there's nobody really under the radar. I mean, there's guys, we know what the board looks like. You guys kind of know there's only a few spots left. So Florida State's only recruiting about 10, 15 guys in total. And without the high school season starting right now, there's really nobody to add to the board. I mean, could guys emerge in the fall? Yeah, after maybe the first 3 games. But remember, Florida State doesn't have a ton of spots remaining. If they're going to use any for the transfer portal, they've got they got even less remaining. So I think from here on out in 2022 recruiting is about landing the big dogs. It's not really about who are the under the radar guys right now. FSU's trying to put like the cherry on the top of the class. What should we be happy with as a record-wise? I'd be happy with 7 wins. I'd be happy with 6. You say 7, I say 6. How many interceptions will the defense have in the first game? This year. Hopefully a lot. Who will be the next commitment for Florida State? That's a good question. Is there room for offensive line commits left? Yes. As you know, if you follow Noles247, Elijah Pritchett, offensive lineman, 4-star out of Carver High School in Columbus, Georgia, would probably be the top overall target on the board. Not just the offensive line board, but probably the top overall target on the board right now is an offensive lineman. Then you also have Bryson Estes, Bryson Estes is committed to Florida State. I'm sorry. Harris Jr. I can't remember his first name right now off the top of my head, but he's out of Georgia. And then you also have Julian Armella, who is an FSU legacy out of Fort Lauderdale, big-time 4-star. I think Florida State could potentially take 2 more. They probably want definitely 1 more offensive lineman. So, yeah, I do think there's room for more. How has the kickers looked? I asked Chris that on the bench. We don't get into a lot of – Eston Harris Jr. I don't know how I keep up with all these names. Bryson Estes is a freshman at Florida State. They signed him last year. Eston Harris Jr. Is an offensive line target. He's maybe, if I had to say like an under the radar name, I would go with him, but he's a guy that everybody knows about. The kickers have looked good. We talked about it on the last podcast. I don't know. Chris has said that Fitzgerald and the other guy have both been, kicking about the same. I think Fitzgerald wins it. We'll see. No word on Destin Hill. If I had a word on Destin Hill, I'd write it. I'm not holding out on news on Destin Hill. I promise you. I just don't expect there to be any news. When I reported in early June that Hill's enrollment would be delayed, I said that I didn't expect to hear anything by the start of the season, and we'll play it by ear after that. Okay, well then go on what Kobe Gross said. Go for it. I mean, if that's what he said, then why are y'all asking me? Do I think Chuba or Tate transfer after this year? Yeah, probably. One or the other, probably. Whoever or both, I don't know. But, it's a crowded room, and they're only bringing in more quarterbacks. It's just how college football goes these days. Who do you guys feel good about in recruiting? Marvin Jones Jr. Give me your thoughts on Marvin Jones Jr. because we didn't talk about him. I figured you guys would bring him up, but you haven't. We saw him play against IMG. He had a sack early on. The hype is real. He looks the part, put on some weight. Just an elite player that Florida State needs as a pass rusher. How often are you interacting with your boy Ryan the Goat Bartow? That's my man's. Do you know if Fuller or Norvell has interest in the corner from No, they're not. No, there's a week till the season starts. They're not taking a player right now. With the 2 kids hitting the portal this week, does that open up 2 scholarships for the next recruiting class? No. I mean, well, for the next recruiting class, for the portal, overall numbers, yes. I mean, but Florida State still has to get down. There's still going to be more attrition to get down so FSU can take a full 25. Numbers always work themselves out. But these guys leaving the team, it makes no immediate impact for Florida State. And one of them was a graduate transfer anyway, so it makes no impact for the next year either. It's just a dead scholarship, both of them. Who's the lead wide receiver now? I think it's a battle between Andrew Parchment and Keyshawn Helton for the number 1 spot. Do you think we still need for Kevin Coleman, the 5-star wide receiver? Yeah, I think Florida State does. He didn't make a visit to Alabama. He didn't go to Alabama this summer. And I don't think if he didn't visit Alabama, I don't think Alabama's really going to recruit him that much. It's kind of like when Jimbo Fisher had it rolling here at Florida State. It didn't matter who you were. If you didn't come and show up on campus in front of Jimbo, he had enough 5-stars coming up. It was kind of out of sight, out of mind. Kevin Coleman's a great wide receiver. He's 5'10", 5'11". I mean, I don't think Alabama's a real threat if he's not going to visit them. So I like where FSU stands. I think Oregon is probably FSU's biggest competition right now with, I wouldn't say Alabama's out of it, but who else do you think will be hitting the portal right now? I don't expect anybody to leave a week before the season starts. Where are you going? Is Duffy locked in as Hunter? As locked in as Hunter? I don't think anybody in this class is as locked in as Hunter is right now. But Duffy's good. I mean, there's nothing. He just wasn't a born FSU fan. Like Hunter was kind of born into this, Duffy's also from California. Travis Hunter's originally from Palm Beach. So I don't think you can really compare Duffy and Hunter, but you don't really need to. Coleman seems to really be liking Oregon. Yeah, he made a visit there in July. That the last trip he took was to Oregon. So yeah, I would expect that. But the season, look, if Florida State goes out and wins 5 or 6 games, it's going to be tough to land 5-star prospects like Kevin Coleman. If they can go out and win more games, it's going to be easier. So we can sit here and say like, yeah, where FSU stands right now, but I don't think it really matters because Kevin Coleman's not making a decision before the season starts. Therefore, a lot of his decision is going to be put into what FSU looks like on the field. Therefore, FSU can control their own destiny. If they play well and they win some games, I think they're going to pick up guys like Kevin Coleman, like Elijah Pritchett, like Marvin Jones Jr. But in the same token, if they don't go out and they don't win these games, it doesn't matter where they stand with these guys in August or July. They're not going to land 5-star recruits come December winning 4 or 5 games. It's not going to happen. What position would you put Travis Hunter at? I would put him at wide receiver. I think that in this day and age of college football, I think that offense wins games quicker. I think you can make a bigger impact at wide receiver. FSU needs a wide receiver. Not to say they don't need DBs, but they desperately need a number 1 wide receiver. So I would play him at wide receiver. But that's my opinion. I'm not saying that's like inside intel or anything. That's just where I would play him. Thoughts on Jerron Willis attending the Notre Dame game? I think it's a positive sign. He's committed to Georgia Tech and has twice. So if he schedules a 3rd commitment, maybe I'll be right on my crystal ball pick to FSU. What freshman wide receiver starts first or has the most playing time? There's only 2 freshman wide receivers in Malik McClain and Joshua Burrell, so I'll go with Malik McClain on that one. Starts first. I don't know if he'll necessarily start this season. Start somewhere maybe. But I think for sure we see more Malik McClain this year than we see Joshua Burrell. But both are promising. Both did great things in the spring and were on campus early, so that bodes well for them. There's a lot of promise with both of them, but right now I think Malik McClain's probably a little bit further ahead from what it sounds like coming out of practice. Any other linebacker prospects still on the board if after Basaint is gone to the U, if that happens? Yeah, they like Daniel Martin. He's a linebacker that is coming in for, I believe it's an official visit at the Notre Dame game. I got to go to the Noles247 and check the visitor list, but his name's on there. Who else am I missing at linebacker? We had Willis. There might be another name or two, but yeah, the linebacker board, that's a position where maybe we see a new name emerge, but there's nobody that I would point to right now in terms of that, the linebacker board. Score predictions for Notre Dame. It's too early for score predictions. Like let's get next week. My heart started racing when you just asked me for a score prediction. That means I'm not ready. I got to put some more thought into it. I got to see who's starting at quarterback. Might call up Mike Norvell tonight and ask him. Yeah, I got these guys asking me for score predictions for Notre Dame. I need to know the starter. Have you guys been listening to On the Bench, our podcast that we do? We've been doing them all summer, all off season. Subscribe on iTunes. We do a phenomenal podcast, I think. And we'd appreciate it if you guys subscribed and rated us 5 stars on iTunes. When am I going to lock my old lady down? I don't know, man. Got to play my cards right. When do you think he names a starter? Co-starters. It could be co-starters. I don't know. I mean, I preferred to know who the starter was. And I'm not saying this from like a media standpoint, but like I was hoping, because Florida State, the quarterback position, really since Jameis, like we've had all these trials and tribulations. We never know who the starter is heading into the season. Like I thought maybe, just maybe, having a transfer come in like a Mackenzie Milton comes in before spring practice, able to participate in spring. I thought maybe there was going to be a chance that we saw a starter named, but not so much. Not so much. When do you think he names starter? I don't know. I hope it's not co-starters. He sent 2 to media day. If you were Norvell and had to pick a starter today, who would you pick? I mean, if Milton's healthy and I brought him in to transfer, I would probably. I hope Milton's. I hope Milton's healthy. Yes, OTB. Shout out. You're enjoy the weekend. I appreciate that. Yep, I'll be in the 941 again soon. Yeah, thank you guys. Has Chuba looked as good as Milton? No, I wouldn't say. I don't think Chuba is legitimately fighting for the top spot. But let's get back in here on Monday. It'll be game week. Got something special for you guys with this show every Monday and Friday and maybe Wednesday. But I appreciate you guys. And if you need us, we'll be at Noles247. Thank you.